Welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Phil Arno. Kim is on assignment today. Addiction and mental health disorders impact thousands of Western New Yorkers. Cazenovia Recovery Systems is committed to assisting individuals with these challenges and helping individuals restore their independence while on the personal road to recovery. Joining us to talk about the organization and an event that the public is invited to is the Director of Communications, Ed Seshan. Ed, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Tell us a little bit about Cazenovia Recovery Systems.
We are a nonprofit in Buffalo and Niagara County recently that helps people in recovery from substance use and homelessness. We've been around since 1980, and we have programs all over Western New York. Started off in Buffalo, recently expanded into Niagara County this year, and we also have a program in Batavia that's on the Veterans Administration campus that helps veterans in recovery as well.
And you deal with all kinds of addictions and mental health issues?
Yes, we deal with all kinds of addictions. We do primarily serve people who are looking for residential services, though. So there are other agencies out there that provide detoxes and inpatient services, but we focus on residential treatment that's more long-term.
Okay, so in your experience and the experience of Cazenovia Recovery Systems, what is the greatest issue that is facing Western New Yorkers these days? I know we hear about heroin it's a very hot topic these days. What do you deal with a lot these days?
That is the main issue that we're currently facing in our agency. There's a reason why it's getting so much media attention, because it is a serious crisis that's plaguing all over not only just Western New York, but New York State and the country, and it is something that we're currently facing as well.
Now, addiction, that's very difficult. I know there's a lot of people out there that know people who have addictions, or family members who know families that have a person, and they kind of struggle with this, getting them help. The laws have changed since the 1970s, I think, where it's more difficult for family members to get somebody the help that they need, because without that person's permission, you really can't force help on somebody who's addicted. And if they're addicted to a substance, quite often they don't want the help. And so, how do you resolve that? How in this day and age with these laws, what can be done?
That's true. It's a difficult situation. You really can't have somebody force into treatment. They have to want to go to treatment to begin with. And without that desire, it is a little difficult. However, what family members can do if they have somebody who's in addiction and they want to get help is they can show them that help is actually out there. They can show them what recovery might look like, and they can provide them information about what services might be available. They can send them to different agencies. And we're also having the event that we'll talk about in a little bit called Recovery Day that can show people what recovery can be like. There is hope out there, and recovery can create amazing things, and people can accomplish wonderful things once they've started the road to recovery. So sometimes people just need that example, I think. They need that little extra push to see that it's not just a potential whole hurdle. It's this great, wonderful thing that can completely turn around their lives, and they have to want that first, I think.
So for people out there that are dealing with this kind of a problem, and they're so frustrated because they seemingly have gone through every possible solution that they can come up with, what kind of advice do you give them?
Keep trying, honestly. Some people, they just kind of have to get to the point where they want to recover, and all you can do is really keep trying. There's no way to force somebody into treatment, unfortunately. That's just not how it works, because they won't really respond well to treatment if they don't want to go through it themselves in the first place. But all they can do is really promote it in a positive, hopeful way. Say, there is really great things out there. Your life isn't necessarily over just because you've come into addiction. There are other things that you can do. There's great potential hope for you. There's a lot of great things that you can do in your life from this point on, too.
And your organization, if they give you a call, you can kind of guide them through the process and maybe help them to deal with these kinds of problems, and maybe give them a little advice as to how to move the process along a little bit?
Exactly. We're there all the time to be able to help anybody out. If anybody has questions about what recovery might look like, what they should do, they can give us a call. We might not necessarily be able to help out with that first step, in the sense that we don't provide that first step all the time, but we can refer somebody to an agency that does. And there's a lot of great resources out there that are coming up thanks to the Erie County Opiate Epidemic Task Force that will help people even more who are looking for those services.
Tell us a little bit about Recovery Day.
Great. Recovery Day is an event that celebrates recovery. It's on August 26th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Main Transit Fire Hall Pavilion on Main Street in Williamsville. The whole point of the event is to show that recovery is this great, amazing thing, that people can accomplish wonderful things once they've started recovery, and that recovery is truly a reality. It's a wonderful event that is family friendly, it's fun, it's public, and it's supposed to show the public that we can remove the stigma associated with recovery, and that people are wonderful. They can do such wonderful, wonderful things. They can get great jobs, they can go back to school, all because they took that first step in recovery, and that's what we're going to celebrate.
So who's going to benefit most by showing up at this event?
We hope that people in recovery will be able to kind of see that the public is supporting them. That's who we're kind of really hoping that receives a lot of benefit from this. That they can see that the community is behind them, that the public is behind them, that the stigma is starting to break down associated with it. But it's also a great tool for people who might have a loved one in recovery, because we're inviting a whole bunch of fellow providers and agencies this year to provide information on the services they provide. So things that we might not be able to help out with, we'll have agencies there who can, and they'll be able to say, this is what you have to do to start the process, this is what recovery might look like for this person, and it's going to be a great way to show the community at large what recovery can do and what services are out there.
Okay, so tell us a little bit, tell us again when it's going to happen and where?
It's August 26th, it's a Friday, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Main Transit Fire Hall Pavilion on Main Street in Williamsville.
Okay. Okay, well, for more information, people can go to this site, and it's www.casanoviarecovery.org. Okay, well, I'd like to thank Ed for joining us, and we'd like to encourage people to reach out for more information and for help.